let's think, what would happen if the 10 men and the 10 women on that island reverted to the way we act now, the way women want to do for self and all that? Would it work?
So this is
no.
I don't know. Do you want to respond first?
No.
Go ahead.
They would die.
So this is what I think will happen. I think from that group of 20, there's going to be someone, maybe two, emerge as like a real leader, man or woman, and the leader's going to have the vision and the idea of how to get everybody else off, get everybody housed and fed and clothed or whatever, right? And then you're probably going to have, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say it's going to be probably a woman or two who they're going to do the operations part of making that idea come to fruition. And then I think those one or two women who are doing the ops, they're going to control everybody else as far as, hey, you
do this.
Yeah, you can sew. All right, you go sew over there. Oh, you know how to chop wood. You go chop wood over there. There's going to be somebody like doling out assignments. This is all going to come from like one or two people at the very top who have shown that they have the leadership skills, that they have the intelligence, that they have the emotional capacity to talk to people, to deal with people, to, you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain level of charisma.
Would the leader be a man or a woman? I'm curious.
It could be either. And to be very honest,
it'll probably be a man.
If you say so. But
because this is where
just let me finish. Let me finish.
This is where the problem
let me finish. But this is the thing. It's not going to be one person who's running everything.
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, the person who is the leader likely can't do shit. They cannot do shit. They cannot do it themselves. They cannot do the ops. They cannot dole out responsibilities. They only just have the vision. And they have the workings of how to put it together. But they still can't make it come to pass.
Right.
So really, yeah, he a leader, but like, other than the idea and the vision, what else can he do? He's incredibly valuable to the situation, but he's not the one making it happen. It's the two ops people. And again, that's going to be a man or a woman. I think it'll probably be women, but it could be a man or a woman. So those are the people that's real, the intermediaries, those are the ones that's going to really make it happen. So and they're going to identify whose strengths are what. And then they're going to put everybody on their strengths. And then that's how they're going to either make themselves a way out, or they're going to figure out how to like create a village there, and they're just going to have to live there till whenever.
Can I, this made me just think about something, and I got to say this. Now, this is a separate scenario, but very similar. And this is just going back to the whole I don't need a man thing, right? If we said the whole world was wiped out in terms of people, right? Whatever. There was a COVID, there was a new strand of COVID, and it killed 7-point-something billion people, and there's one man.
But they say COVID's not real. So.
But you get what I'm saying. So now let's go with it, right? Something happened where everybody dies, and we're still on this I don't need a man. I think women need to understand how important men are to society, in the sense that we actually help continue society to progress in terms of population. If I took 100 men and one woman in a 2-year time span, how much could I populate this world?
Okay, but there's...
Wait, nigga, you said one woman?
Hold on.
Listen to what I'm saying.
No, I don't understand. You said one woman?
I said one woman and 100 men. How much?
9 months.
How much could I? I just want to answer, guys.
Maybe like 5 kids.
5 kids in 2 years, right?
No,
in a 24-month time span.
Oh, so it'll be 2 kids.
2 kids, yeah. Take cool. From there, yeah. If I took one man, and 100 women, and I said we need to repopulate the earth, how many kids can I have in 24 months?
200?
Roughly.
Okay.
So this is but what I'm trying to say is that men are, but what I'm trying to
make it seem like you're more valuable.
No, I'm not making it seem like I'm more.
That your point is that like, okay.
You see what I'm saying? I can't even, wait, let me finish my thing.
Oh my
what I'm saying is we talk about we don't need a man.
Nobody said that.
But if
what are we,
You're talking about women.
All
right.
I don't need a man in my life.
Yo, men are.
What is their personal preference for what their life means for them? They just have nothing to do with what a man's value in life.
To the world?
To the world. Because
Right.
if I
That's a good
say
point.
I don't need a man in my life because I'm good, I'm set, and I don't really care for a romance in my life. Whatever my life is like right now, I'm good. That does not take away from what a man can.
What if every woman thought like that?
Then yes, I need.
Amanda, so this is what I'm saying. It probably started off with one woman that thought like that. But now we're probably at, I don't know, at least 100,000.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren, you fellow believers of this truth. Shalom to you elders, brethren, believers of the truth. Shalom to you, few sisters, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, I don't know where I saw this weird podcast, but I'll try to make this quick. As you've seen, there's not much I have to explain. This woman in the middle here with the white on, with very masculine energy, says that if hell broke loose, basically what she's saying, and we was in a different situation, that the male would no longer, the male would basically just be the laborers in their mindset of them, and they would be like human resources, right? Human resources was invented for feminism. Human resources was really set up for women. That's what human resources is. In fact, you'll see the thing with social services called the Department of Human Resources, right? But you'll have men that go there too. But if you notice in the Department of Human Resources, you'll see who's working there. And they're the ones that are not delegating, but they're the ones that are enforcing the rules. The men are the ones who enforce the rules. They give them the right to vote. They give them the right to have abortions. They give them a right to wear the clothes they wear. They give them the right to drive. They even tell you driving is a privilege, not a right. So seems like the matriarchy is the one that control everything and always has. But we'll also get a scripture in the Bible where the feminists will run, right? We know that. But, let me get 1 Corinthians 11. Be ye followers of me, even as I am followers of Christ, Yahweh Shai. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. So they didn't even know the ordinances. Women leading the church, women sitting on panels like this, women teaching men, just totally out of order, right? Now, I seriously doubt when hell breaks loose, you'll see this woman with this short hair sitting here with her nice boots on and a short dress sitting on a canopy or something with a crown on her head and telling all the men what to do. This is your fault, Sad Netta. Sad Netta, Bro Polite, what do they call them? The manifestos, I forgot what they call them. The Nuwapians. It's your fault. You the one caused this madness, man. You the one endorsed this black woman as God and queens of the earth. And now they're running around really believing they are. And then they have help from their leaders, right, where they really believe this stuff. And I didn't even get to the point where they was talking about the XXYY chromosomes and why it's more women. Well, duh, the man just brought it out for procreation. But these guys just, they could have had a little Kevin Samuels in them or something. Damn. Anyway, everybody want to be politically correct on these goddamn panels, man. Now, I praise you, brethren, that you remember in all things and all the ordinances, the orders that I deliver unto you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai, says here, Christ. And the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ, Yahweh Shai, is Yahweh. So we see here, there's an ordinance set up. Let's jump to Genesis real quick. I know I had this up. Genesis 2. But first, let's go to Judges. Before I go there, there's a reason why I want to pull that. Judges 4 and 14. Now, this is the story with Deborah and Barak, and Israel was in such horrible state, broken, beaten, right? So this woman, let's read it. It says, then Deborah said to Barak, go this, you know what, let me pull up the summary real quick so you can understand what's going on. Real quick, it says here, Deborah, with the guidance from God, sent for the warrior Barak, telling him the Lord had commanded Barak to gather 10,000 men from the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali and lead them to Mount Tabor. So let's read that real quick in the book of Judges. I'm going to read the NIV. Then Deborah said to Barak, go, this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands. So you had prophets and you had prophetess. Okay. So, you know, you have the story of Deborah and Barak. I think they said, did I look that up? Lapidoth or whatever. Deborah was the husband of Lapidoth, also known as Barak. Now, in case some of you don't know, a prophetess is basically a wife of a prophet. You had Huldah the prophetess that told Josias what was coming. That's another video. But women play a key factor, right, in certain things. And Israel was so beaten down. And you got to remember, ain't no woman leading no armies. You know what I'm saying? How is she going to lead an army to another army of men? They're going to look at her as weak. So you got to understand that. Let me go back here. The book of Judges. It says, this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands. Has not the Lord gone ahead of you? So Barak went down to Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men followed him. Let me see what else it says. It says, go ahead of you, and thine hand, and the Lord has gone out before thee. So Barak went down from Mount Tabor. So this is more like an inspiration, so to speak, a comfort, right? When you had a prophetess, and let's say the Lord told a prophetess something to tell you through the Spirit, right? And this is all the Lord, right? This is all, basically it's all of the Lord in a nutshell. It doesn't make, what's her name, Deborah, a legitimate judge and a great leader. Because all the men that led, that was leaders, would be on the front line if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Would get in the battle and fight. This woman is actually telling you she was sit in the back and delegate things and let men do all the damn work like she's smarter. So you mean to tell me that the Lord created us physically and gifted stronger, right? More lung capacity to run and jump, more testosterone, 1,000 deciliters of testosterone to a woman's maybe 50 marker of it, so to speak, let's say that, and her estrogen, okay, body mass, bone density, reproduction, and all that is going to be stronger in a man. But somehow the thinking capacity, he was just meant to be a simp. And you would think if this was the case and the Lord was this way and said, well, you're just going to be the heapers and lifters. Although men had other men, like when we built the temple, Solomon's house, there was men controlling that, running that. Come on. But somehow we're not going to be smarter than the woman. The education that the women have is given to them, and they're educated and they're funded. There's never going to be women running a society. You got to show me sometime in history where a group of women stood up, and not the Wakanda or whatever that crap is, where a group of women, the woman king, and these people fall for this madness, you know? And these men are sitting here, listen to this carnage, debauchery, and they're just sitting there in a calm manner. See, another thing I noticed, there's a thing where
you don't let women get to you. I get it. You know, where you don't argue with a woman, it makes you look weak. You know, if you argue with a woman, but it can also make you look weak just sitting there, just looking crazy. I got up and just walked out of there, man. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this person, man? Anyway, that's crazy. Let's go to Genesis 2:18. And the Lord said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. And that's the whole agenda. That's the whole bottom line. That's what Deborah was. That's what Huldah was. That's what Sarah was, right? That's what all the women of the Bible that was a supporting cast, all of them was helpmeets. I guarantee you, when all hell breaks loose, that woman will not be saying that then. She won't be wearing what she's wearing either. I guarantee you that. Let's go to the book of Judges in the commentary. It says here, and Deborah said unto Barak, go up, not go up higher, for they were upon the top of the mountain, but rise beside thyself, prepare for battle, put the army in rank and file, and march and meet the enemy without delay. Now, why didn't she do it then? If that was the case, if she was the judge and the leader and the strong woman, why didn't she just take the place of Barak and do it her damn self? For this is the day in which the Lord have delivered Sisera, yes, that's how you pronounce it, Sisera, into thine hand. By the spirit of the prophet, she knew, by the spirit of prophecy, she knew this was the precise day, the exact time. Like you got a woman who will prophesy, you know, through dreams and certain things, right? Visions. Exact time in which it will be the will of God, which I mean is the women will give visions and then you would, you know, you would follow it, right? This deliverance should be wrought, and she speaks of it as if it was past because of the certainty of it. See, the certainty of it and the full assurance she had of it, and Barak might have, nor is what she says any contradiction to that which she has said before. Like what I said before about Huldah the prophetess. When it gets down that bad and the woman prophetess got to tell you, well, look, the Lord is going to destroy Israel, but he's going to save you for now because of the wickedness. And you looked out for the temple and you made sure everything was good. You helped build the house of the Lord. So he's going to spare you this time. You know, we had to be in a really bad state that a woman had to jump up and tell this man to get up and fight. And again, why didn't she lead the steed? Why didn't she get up and fight? And it shows you the mindset of our women back then, even though they may have went off, of the mindset that women are today. I guarantee you, if all hell broke loose, this woman wouldn't tell nobody to get up and fight. She would go run and hide and ask for a man to protect her. They're not built like that. In fact, we need the Spirit of the Lord to build us back up like that, man. There's no way. She be the first one trying to save her own ass. Let an earthquake happen right now. She going to jump in that man's lap quick. See, the Lord is going to shake this thing back up quick. And you women that are proud, especially these Eves, these black Eves, and there's some white women doing that now too. Now they'll do it and the black woman will follow it. But then a white woman, she'll still, you know, she'll play a tough game, you know, but she'll still go back and do what she does, if you know what I mean. But not Eve. Jeremiah 5:28. She's the past the deeds of the wicked. Right? It says this deliverance should be wrought, and she speaks of it as it was past. And the full assurance she had of it, and Barak might have, nor it was, she say, any contradiction to what she had said before, that Sisera should be sold or delivered into the hands of a woman. See? So, the bottom line is, you remember, was it Abimelech? When he got the woman threw a brick over the wall or boulder and hit him with it? See, when it comes down to the wire, and a woman have to fight, they'll fight. I mean, if it come down to the wire, look, they know if they lose that battle, them men coming in and ravishing them, they're going to break up families. All kinds of hell's going to break loose, man. So they want to win. You see what I'm saying? That's just the order of how things, the nature of how things go. Women are our second half. There's no partnership. We're the heads and they're the tails. But we're one flesh. You know what I'm saying? But we're the head of the flesh. I don't know why it's so difficult. Why do women want more than that? Because really, when it all boils down to it, your amenities and your luxuries you got in this society, they're all going to be taken away. And then we'll start seeing how you behave in the time of trouble. Let me get a scripture on that real quick. I believe it's Isaiah 13. Or maybe Zechariah. Maybe I'll get that. Houses. Let me see. Zechariah 14:2. Brother read this at camp Saturday. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem in battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, right? Meaning, spoiled, and a woman ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city, right? So there's women who'll say, it's because of men that wars fight. Without men, there would be no wars. And they'll say all these things. But, hey, this is God's plan. This is the Most High's plan. Without men, you will not get your trash picked up. You will not get the food coming in those food trucks. Very limited women doing that, if they even hold up to that at all. Next thing they know, they're on leave because their back hurt. That's a rough job. Your cars won't get fixed. Your infrastructure won't get fixed. Those buildings that are built for you to sit down in and get paid more than the men who built those buildings, it goes to show you how they disproportionately managed money to favor the woman. She should not be getting paid 6 figures for sitting at a damn desk. Just no way. There's no labor involved in that. But as we know, the more labor, the less you get paid. That's just how it is here. Now, they do have important jobs, but hey, hit some couple of buttons. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.